The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys!
Blowing out of the backfield, exploding down the sideline.
This is Hangin' with the Boys. Now, your hosts, Nate Newton, Kurt Daniels, Jesse Holley, and Shannon Gross.
Thursday! That's a live look right there at the Ford Center in the Tostitos Championship Plaza. We don't have our fearless leader today. The temperature today, the high is 58, the low is 51. Shannon is in Mexico doing...
We don't want to know.
I don't think we want to know. I don't think we want to know. But that is three-time Super Bowl champion Nate Newton. That is Kurt One Pump Daniels, because two pumps will get you a fine. In the back is Chris Beam, keeping us live and local. And as always, I am your boy, Salt and Pepper Poppy. Together, we make Hanging with the Boys, the sports talk equivalent of Braille people. Feel us when we speak. This segment is brought to you. Oh, no, we can't say that because Wingstop is here. I don't take that. No, let me stop. Breaking news that happened. Not breaking, but kind of breaking. It already happened late last night, early into this morning.
Big shots?
No, not that. Not that news. Not that news. I don't take medicine. Y'all know nothing stays in private. Nate, it's gonna come on the air. But while we all slept last night in our slumber after we took our medicine, waking up this morning.
I don't take medicine.
Oh, you don't take no medicine?
I don't take no medicine.
The New
Vitamins.
The New York Football Giants have hired their head coach. The New York Football Giants.
So they got Eberflus?
No, they didn't. No, they didn't go Eberflus. They didn't go in house either.
Okay.
They didn't pick somebody that was down the hall.
Wow.
That was just waiting around. They went and got themselves a very well-established coach, someone who is known of building culture, and pretty good at building good teams.
Seems like
They went and hired John Harbaugh. Jim's in
Big Brother's in LA.
Yeah, so the Cowboys will now have to face the John Harbaugh-led New York Football Giants twice a year. Does that move the needle any for you guys about now the New York Football Giants? Which once we used to count when we come in here, we do the schedule. We usually say Giants twice a year. We're good.
Yeah.
Dak owns them. We're good. Count them as 2 wins. That's already on the schedule.
unless it's the last game of the year.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's the last game of the year. You know the game that we said that we wanted to win? Don't worry about that. But normally we say the Giants 2 wins a year. We can argue back and forth about about Washington, and we usually split against Philadelphia. Does the hiring of John Harbaugh change the outlook on how you see
You go before I start.
the New York Football Giants now?
I think he will be an improvement, but do they have the players yet to really make a big difference? So.
They have a quarterback, right? They have a quarterback.
Looks like it.
Jackson
Looks like
Dart.
it. They're heading in the right direction. I will say
Malik
that.
Neighbors, if he comes back from this ACL injury to be what he was, that's a good receiver.
Yeah.
I'm
Defense
not.
isn't
I don't
too
put
bad.
Scatterboo in that conversation, but defensively, you got Abdul Carter. You'll have Brian Burns and Sexy Dexy, right? So you got a good situation up front. Does it change for you, Kurt?
I think it's a step in the right direction for them.
Okay,
For sure.
all right.
Yeah.
Nate.
This is every coach's dream, to have a dominant entity within. When you go into a new team and you have something that's dominant and an up-and-coming quarterback or a proven quarterback.
Okay.
Coach Harbaugh, like, okay, where do we sign? This is how much I need. Give me total control, and I'll work this here. When I heard this morning, I'm still saying to myself, did they set this up? Is this something they did under the table? The Ravens said, hey, man, we finna let this cat go. Called New York, the mayor, said, look here, man. Y'all want to come back to prominence? We finna let some. Come on, fellas. They automatically go to the top They go to the top of the NFC East.
Wow.
Yes.
Really?
The top of the NFC East because he's going to get the most out of his players. That's a hardball trait. Is we come in and they say, you don't want to be here? Okay, what we can get for him? You don't want to be here? This is how we're going to do it. We're going to play sound, disciplined football. We're going to run. We're going to have a defense that's already dominant. They just needed a direction. Mm-hmm. Their defense just needed a direction. Now we got a young quarterback. We're going to tell him, hey, bro, every time you run, you may be on this bench. We're going to teach you how to throw the ball. More, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, he knows how to throw the ball, but that is a priority when we ask you to throw it, not take off and run and kill yourself. That's what we got. The other dude, we're going to come off IR, my scatterboo guy.
Yeah.
So he's going to stop the run. He's going to run the ball. He's going to have a disciplined team. They automatically go to the top of the NFC East.
Wow.
All right,
just for who they are.
Do this for me, guys. Let's do this. If we had to rank the coaches in the NFC East, what is your ranking from 1 to 4?
Ooh, dang.
So you're saying you
so your coaches would be the head coach of the New York Giants, John Harbaugh, the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, Brian Schottenheimer, the head coach of the Washington Commanders, Dan Quinn, and then the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles, Nick Sirianni.
We ain't even put that pressure on you. Don't even rank the Cowboy coach. Right? What's the other 3?
The other 3?
Harbaugh, the guy in Philadelphia, and the guy in Washington.
Probably Harbaugh, 1. And then, Sirianni's had him playoffs, Super Bowl.
This thing done changed. Just like that. This thing done changed just like that.
Quinn.
Bruh, it done changed. It's all you got to say is one thing to Quinn. All you got to do is say one thing to Quinn and you lose. Run. Run. Do I need to finish the sentence? Run. 150 yards, automatic loss. Bruh, come on now. The coach in Philadelphia sitting up right now with the GM saying, hey, man, we can't – it's all right to have a Charles Haley on your team. But 2 and 3 Charles Haleys you cannot have on your team. And that's what the Eagles are starting to be. They starting to just fall apart.
Personalities, you're saying?
Oh, yeah. The quarterback don't want to take chances. You can see that. This last game, he won't run. He won't, you got to be wide open for him to throw you the ball. The Jalen Hurts that we saw with the Saquon Barkley 2000, that wasn't this guy this year. And what you said, Jess, I don't know if it was the plays, his abilities of being scared to fall out the play. Bruh, come on now. Yeah. And we need too much. We need too much as a team to rank us up there. We need too much as a team. And much as I love DQ, they're gonna come back and say Big Noon stabbed me in the back. But no, brother. No. If all I gotta do is come out and run the ball and game over, that's too simple.
So they won 4 games this year. Do you think having Harbaugh would have
Oh, they'd have had 3 more games.
Think so?
They'd have won 3 more games. Oh yeah.
Even with those injuries and such?
Just because his defense would have been tighter. And they would have catered to that. See, when you have a dominant entity on your team, or that 1/3 that's dominant, you can cater to that. It's too many things you can do to cater to that. And so that just slinging the ball all around with no regards for your defense. That wouldn't happen with him. Now. They can shock me. They can go there and say, well, we're going to do this totally different than what we normally do it with the hard balls. But have you ever known a hard ball to college All-Pros to go in and not improve his team?
True. No, you got a great point.
We talk about culture. They hadn't done nothing with the Chargers, and all of a sudden, 2 years in a row, didn't they make the playoffs the last year too? They didn't make it.
I don't know
they
about
barely
last year.
missed.
I think last year they didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, they barely missed it.
This year they did.
But they made it, and they made it with a quarterback that was, I mean, he was toe up half of the year.
Yeah, that offensive line
was raggedy.
Terrible.
And they still made the playoffs. Yeah, I'm just saying, a hardball, man, if you let them take over the reins, they coming to get it, bro.
So now that John Harbaugh is the head coach of the Giants, for the Cowboys, because normally, from how I look at it, you usually build your team to first win a division, right?
That's right.
I build my team to dominate this division, and then I take that, win the division, and then I go and fight out whether I fit, where I fit at in the rest of the conference and then across the league. Mm-hmm. So you normally draft and set your team up looking at your opponents across the landscape and saying, okay, I know I got Eagles twice a year, Philly twice a year, New York, and then Washington also twice a year. So my team has to be able to beat what they do well, or be able to expose what they don't do well. Now that Harbaugh is now within the division, does that alter the drafting needs, or I shouldn't say needs. The needs are the needs, but because you have to face a Harbaugh team, right? Now you're looking at that and you're saying, all right, well, do you go back and you look at what he had in Baltimore and say, well, this is probably what he's going to bring to New York, and now we have to also combat for that? Or do you still go, well, the Eagles have been the people in this division for the last couple of years that we've had to contend with. We'll continue to focus on how to build our team to beat and dominate the reigning NFC East champion. Yeah,
I mean, I think you talk about him, he'll improve the defense of the Giants. Well, they've been facing a pretty tough defense in Washington, that for at least their front line, and in Philly, their front line is one of the best around. So I don't think you can make huge changes to the approach, but there's so many holes to fill that they could go several different directions with this.
Oops, slipping in one.
No.
But I would, to a degree maybe, but I think the Cowboys kind of have to take care of their own business, don't they?
Yes, sir. I agree 100%. Don't nothing change. You start with free agency. I mean, when they say 11:59, when they said 11:59, we should be snatching us 2 safeties and a linebacker.
Yeah.
When they say 11:59, we should be able to say, hey, man, the update, the jet is landing. You agree with me, dog?
No, I'm with you.
The jet is landing.
Yeah, there has to be an aggressive approach.
Yes.
I do think this brings a sense of, not that it's not a sense of urgency here. I do think that there is a sense of urgency, and we'll talk in the next segment about the coaching search. I do think that there was already a sense of urgency, because remember, we laughed and joked about this, and y'all called me crazy and said, Jesse, you messy. When I said, man, this whole Brian Schottenheimer hiring thing, I said, this don't go well. This could be 16 months and he up out of here. Well, it didn't go well in that first year.
And now, how many months?
It didn't go well in that first year, and you've already fired your defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
And we all know that the hiring of defensive coordinator was a lot to do with the owner. That's who he wanted. The general manager, owner, president was who he wanted. And so now that he said, okay, all right, I pull my hands off of the stove.
Yeah.
You pick the next guy. So if this thing doesn't go right next year, I'm coming for you now. You can't put this one on me, because that ain't my DC I'm picking. So if we don't get this thing right next year and we don't make the playoffs next year, that's a shot. So I do think that there will be a sense of urgency that's already there.
You don't think, man, we've seen it now that it takes a while for these defenses and new schemes to adjust and all that. You don't think they'll give him, maybe a couple years at least to try to figure this out? Nope.
No. Jesse, I want to say this as nice as I can. The statement you just made, we've had that statement twice. Mr. Nolan, right? I've got that right? Mm-hmm. They couldn't get it. Now we said with Eberflus, they couldn't get it. They got it with Quinn. They kind of last 4 or 5 games with Zim. They kind of got it. This is not just a coach's thing. And I think the way they're gonna draft and what they're gonna do in free agency is gonna prove that right. This you need to be looking, a little bit deeper. So, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
They got to look a little deeper. Players.
All right, so we'll take our first break. When we come back from our first break, we'll talk about the wide net that the Cowboys have cast on their defensive coordinator search. And then also, as we're looking across this playoff landscape, are there some teams out there that are doing some things, especially defensively, that you kind of look and go, should the Cowboys be a little bit more like that? Should they do a little bit more of a copycat like those guys with the physicality and all those things? We'll talk about that when we come back from this break. This is Hangin' with the Boys. We'll be right back.
You know you want those Wingstop boneless wings. With the boneless meal deal from Wingstop, you get 20 boneless wings in 4 delicious flavors and a large order of fries for just $16.99. What are you waiting for? More wings, more flavor, more bang for your buck. The $16.99 boneless meal deal from Wingstop. Order now from wingstop.com. Valid at participating locations for a limited time on orders for pickup or delivery placed via wingstop.com or the Wingstop app. Prices may vary by location. See wingstop.com/offers for full details.
At Batteries Plus, we don't just sell batteries, we recycle them too. So don't toss your old ones. They're packed with critical materials we can reuse. Come in and recycle old lithium batteries found in your power tools, power banks, wearables, and small electronics. You'll score a chance to win Cowboys tickets, a VIP experience, and more. Join America's team and recycle with Batteries Plus, the official battery recycling partner of the Dallas Cowboys. Batteries Plus, the experts in charge.
Cowboys fans, SeatGeek is the only primary ticketing partner of America's team and here to help you experience all the action this season. SeatGeek makes it easy to find the perfect seats to the perfect game, so you can be part of all the touchdown celebrations and momentum-shifting takeaways this season. Whether you're getting tickets to Cowboys games or to any other live event in DFW, SeatGeek is the place to do it. SeatGeek is the official primary ticketing partner of the Dallas Cowboys. SeatGeek.
How about them Cowboys? And how about them Jimmy Dean breakfast bowls? Keep your game day celebrations going with real eggs, potatoes, cheese, and our savory Jimmy Dean sausage. And with 22 grams of protein per serving, you'll have enough energy to power you from early morning to the final whistle. The no-hassle, ready-in-minutes prep makes it easy. Just heat, eat, and cheer on those Cowboys. Get yours today. Jimmy Dean brand is proud to be the official protein of the Dallas Cowboys.
Back to Hangin' with the Boys.
Welcome back to Hangin' with the Boys. This segment is brought to you by Blockchain, blockchain.com. There you go. Blockchain.
Yeah, that's what done happened in New York. They done blocked the chain. Come on, man. Come on, blockchain. They'll be all up in New York.
As the Cowboys are still searching for their defensive coordinator, they've added 3 more names to the list of candidates that they were looking to interview. Charlie Bullen, you have DeMarcus Covington, you have Christian Parker. Christian Parker is the pass game coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles. And let me see here. DeMarcus Covington is the run game coordinator and defensive line coach for the Green Bay Packers. You might know a guy at Green Bay on the defensive line that we probably could use here. And then the Giants' interim defensive coordinator was Charlie Bullen, who a lot of people are saying that the Giants really liked.
Oh, yeah.
Like he stepped in last year in that interim role, and they don't know if Harbaugh is going to keep him, but the Giants like him. So that may be something when you look back on it that he may stay in New York. But you add those 3 names that the Cowboys are bringing in, with the addition to Aaron Whitecotton, who's inside here, former Arizona Cardinals head coach Jonathan Gannon, of course, Jim Leonard, Durante Jones, and Ephraim Banda. Those have been the names that the Cowboys have talked to already.
You like where they're heading with this?
Here's what I do like. No. Hold on, Nate. Hold on, Nate. Here's what I do like. Here's what I do like. One, the names that you're hearing aren't normal names that you would hear about every day. So that leads me to believe that this isn't a Jerry move. Because I don't care what anybody says to me. If Durante Jones was on a tour walking through this hallway and Jerry's walking the opposite way, Jerry couldn't point out who Durante Jones was. So this ain't a Jerry Jones pick. This is Jerry now allowing allowing Brian Schottenheimer to come into this place and say, all right, these are the guys that I want to talk to. The second thing about that is, which I do appreciate, is that it is a wide net. And I know that we want the names like Vance Joseph and Brian Flores and those type of names, and Raheem Morris's and Jeff Ulbricht's, the names that we know. But these are what we call the disciples of those guys or next to those guys. You know, remember a couple years ago, if you touched the hem of the garment of Sean McVay, they wanted you. Right? Like if Sean McVay sneezed and you gave him a tissue, they were like, oh, we want you to be our office coordinator. Yeah. Right? And so while these aren't the names that we know, this is a kind of a youth movement. A lot of these guys, the oldest guy in this group is 47 years old. And the conversations are being had behind the scenes. And you're getting information. While you're having these interviews, I'm able to, not I, but Brian Schottenheimer is able to talk to some of these younger, hipper, kind of new age defensive mind, energetic. So he's getting information that I think can help him in the process of, okay, this is what the angle that we should be going. The language should sound different than what he heard with Eberflus and what he heard with Zim and those names. So those two, that's the two parts about it that I go, okay, yeah, I'm okay with that.
I like the fact that we don't know any of these guys and never heard their names. I mean, look at they've Matt Eberflus, former head coach, Mike Zimmer, former head coach, Dan Quinn, Mike Nolan, Rod Marinelli, even going back to Monty Kiven, he wasn't much of a head coach, but a longtime defensive coordinator. I like this new wave. I mean, I think they need that, and it's refreshing. Even with the guys, Flores and Raheem and all those other guys, they want to be head coaches. They're on the doorstep of being head coaches. Are you going to go one and done again? I mean, I love it that they're going for these young guys with hopefully new, fresh approaches that could be here a few years.
Yeah.
I like that, man. I like that, big dog.
What's your thoughts?
My thoughts is hire one of them and let's go to work.
Okay.
I'm for real, bro. I have nothing against what you've put there real sweet, and he's sweet, just as sweet, man. I'm with that. Hire one of them and let's go to work. The day they signed Harbaugh we are a day late.
Yeah.
And every day that he's in that house in New York, we are a day late. Hire somebody. Let's go to work. Let's get us an identity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, the one thing I will say about these hirings is because we listened to the press conference, and Jerry and Steven and Shotty, they all talked about we want a communicator.
Yeah.
Right? We want a communicator. We want someone that's able to be a teacher in what we're doing. And the only question that I have, or not question, but statement, and I think communication is necessary, right? We all agree that's unnecessary.
Seemed to be a problem this year.
Right? I think teaching is, but I'm big on development. Mm-hmm. Can the guys that you're talking about, have they been around long enough? Do they have enough skins on the wall? Does the Jim Leonards, does the Gannons, does the DeAndre Jones, does the Zach Orr? Excuse me, I forgot Zach Orr is in the conversation. Those guys as well. Do these guys have a history of development? Because that's going to be key. We we watch these other teams in this league perform, and some have some of the star-studded players on there, some do not. Some have them, then lose them, and don't miss a beat. We've been so top-heavy for so long. Are you going to be able to come in here and find and develop another linebacker? Yeah, go out and get one in free agency. Sure, go and draft one. But let's go get some depth pieces. Can you turn Maris Leofau into a player? Right? Can you turn Shamar James into a player? Can you turn, said backup defensive lineman into a good rotational piece? Can you take this safety and develop him into a good rotational piece? We don't need stars at every position. I think that's unrealistic.
Yeah.
But the development has been down. I would say in the last couple of years,
last 6 years,
with the Cowboys, especially defensively, right? Like that part has taken a major hit. So if you lose or overshown to an injury, can the next guy come in? And I'm not saying be a superstar, but do the job.
Yeah.
And that has been an issue, that the guys that have to come in, hell, the starters haven't been able to do the job, and then the guys behind that hasn't been able to do the job. But there hasn't been a level of development. So that is one of the things that I will be looking for whenever they make it hire.
Yeah.
Whoever the hire is said defensive coordinator a developer of talent?
Yeah. As players, when you see who's maybe coming in, are you hoping for a guy who's the crusty veteran who's been around the league and knows all the ins and outs, or the fact that a younger guy who's maybe taking that first step up and maybe comes with new ideas? What as a players would intrigue you more, I guess?
For me, I know the question you asked, but for me, I want a coach that's going to give me a legit chance. If I'm learning this and I'm doing what you asked me to do, and I'm in the right place, are you going to give me that opportunity, or due to financial reasons or who you like,
The politics.
Yeah, the politics gonna keep me, But if every one of these dudes gonna be whoever you hire, and that coach stand up and say, "Hey, you got to earn the right to play." They gonna believe you until that first couple of weeks after it gets trunk up good, and they ain't getting no reps. Like, oh, okay, same old thing. So that's the guy you need. That's the guy, and that's my big issue is whoever you hire, get him in here so he can look at these players, and now you can start making the right observations. You can start breaking these guys down to who they are. And we say, do he develop, but can a player learn? I mean, some guys don't want to change. Do you want to change?
And those are the guys that should be gone, right?
Yeah.
Right? Those are the guys who at the end of the day, when you go, hey, because anytime that there is this is in life, this is in business, this is in sports, whenever there is when someone comes in and buys a company, right, they initially come in and they fire a lot of people because it becomes so difficult to put your stamp on something with people who've been here for a while. Because they're set in their ways. They kind of they figure some things out about the NFL life, and now they're like, man, this is what I do. What you mean? What you mean you want to meet? Well, now we ain't do that. I ain't did it the last 3 years.
Right.
What you mean What you mean you require me to do what? A test? I ain't doing no test. You know what I'm saying? Before the game, I ain't doing no. Well, you require that, and so sometimes you gotta shed some of that weight. Yeah. In order to bring in that new level of energy. That's the part. And whoever this coach that comes in, the good thing is by sheer contract wise, a lot of these guys are just gone. They were 1 year deals. Yeah. So some of it is already gone. You know what I mean? Like it's you don't have to even make a tough decision on whether or not that person needs to be here, because contractually you aren't here.
Yeah, get rid of him.
You're just no longer a financial priority to this football team. So that does open up the window to being able to come in and go, all right, here are my foundational pieces. Here are my staples. I got Overshown, I got Osa, I got Clark, I got Quinnen, I got Ezeraku.
Yeah. So do you take those guys, just Schottenheimer, and maybe it's Will and Jerry and who all? Do you say, okay, this is the type of defense we want to play? These guys fit into this type of scheme. We're going to find a coordinator that can fit into that. Or do you go, let's go get our coordinator and he can figure it out?
I think it's the latter.
Really?
I think it's the latter. Okay. But I think in that interview, you do ask the question, well, here are our fundamental pieces. Tell me how they fit in your scheme.
Yeah.
Right? Like, tell me how they fit in the program that you want to run. Because if you give me 5 names and I go, man, I can only really use 3 of these guys, coach. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then now you have to make another decision. Are the 2 guys that he can't fit in his system just unfittable? Or do we have to look at ourselves and go, okay, because I like what you're saying and I like that approach, then those other 2 guys are expendable.
Right.
Right.
I just wondered from a rebuilding standpoint, like if a guy comes in, if you hire a guy and he's like, I need 3 guys and the rest stink, that's a lot more players you have to, build around your roster and all that.
This is a keep it real year for me. This is just a keep it real year for me. After about 4 guys, I mean, coach can't be actioning 4 guys. It's 4 guys.
Right.
Everybody else, hey, man, get in line. We were bad last year. We were terrible as a defense. Whatever the reason it was, we were terrible. So when you get a new coach and we still and we talking about more than 3 guys, fellas, Jesse named them earlier, and it ain't grew. The list just ain't grew in the last 10 seconds. Every coach nowadays that's a defensive coordinator better know how to play. It's no such thing as a 4-3 coach no more. There's no such thing as a 3-4 coach. You better know how to play this new hybrid system that these offenses putting out there, whether it's 3 tight ends, whether it's an extra offensive lineman, whether it's a naked backfield. You better have a package and a game plan for this. This new NFL is wild, man. You don't know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
So now, like I said, a lot of coordinators ain't going to be scared to say, hey, man, you just don't have the players to do what I want to do. I'm in here. This is what I like to run. This is how I run it. And he may not say it as plain as I'm saying it, but once he started explaining it to Shadi or whoever listening, they're going to be like, yeah, Nate told him we better start with free agency because we're going to do what he talking about. This league demands that you have ultra-talented athletes. You ain't got to be the most vicious tackler, but you got to be in the right place and willing to tackle. This league, look here, man. The Texans down there. They
hold on. Let's hold that thought. Let's hold that thought. Let's hold that thought. No.
Example,
That's where we're going in segment 3. So what we're gonna do is take another break, take our second break of the show.
Yeah.
When we come back, we're looking at the Cowboys and saying, all right, cool. What does it look like?
Yeah.
Right? Because we've heard the physicality and we want to be a dominant this and we want to be a dominant that. What does that look like? Are there some pictures out there in the playoff land that we can kind of go, yeah, like that? We'll discuss that when we come back on Hangin' with the Boys.
You know you want those Wingstop boneless wings. With the boneless meal deal from Wingstop, you get 20 boneless wings in 4 delicious flavors and a large order of fries for just $16.99. What are you waiting for? More wings, more flavor, more bang for your buck. The $16.99 boneless meal deal from Wingstop. Order now from wingstop.com. Valid at participating locations for a limited time on orders for pickup or delivery placed via wingstop.com or the Wingstop app. Prices may vary by location. See wingstop.com/offers for full details.
Hey, Cowboy fans. Keith Davis here, former Cowboys safety.
Keith Davis into the end zone.
You know what separates champions from the rest? Making the right move at the right moment. With blockchain.com, that's never been easier. The Cowboys became America's team by striking bold when it mattered most. Now it's your turn. Invest like your icons with blockchain.com. Visit blockchain.com/Cowboys today to get started and learn more. That's blockchain.com/Cowboys.
We got big personalities. We got big hair, big belt buckles. We got fans all across this big state and enemies in every other one. We even got a big star on the 50-yard line. Smirnoff knows football is a we thing, an experience that is best enjoyed together. With good drinks and good folks home or away, we rally together. We cry together. And we always rally cry together because, most of all, we got big love for them boys. Smirnoff, we do game days. Please drink responsibly.
Cowboys fans, SeatGeek is the only primary ticketing partner of America's team and here to help you experience all the action this season. SeatGeek makes it easy to find the perfect seats to the perfect game, so you can be part of all the touchdown celebrations and momentum-shifting takeaways this season. Whether you're getting tickets to Cowboys games or to any other live event in DFW, SeatGeek is the place to do it. SeatGeek is the official primary ticketing partner of the Dallas Cowboys. SeatGeek.
Back to Hangin' with the Boys.
Welcome back to Hanging with the Boys on this, Thursday edition. We're in the office. You only get us one day a week, so you better take us all in right now. You better absorb us right now. This segment is brought to you by 7-Eleven. Always open. We don't have no games this week, but they always open. Right now, what's always open is the defensive coordinator job. It's open. It's open here in Dallas. Cowboy fans, get everyday essentials at your nearest 7-Eleven, whether you're Team Big Gulp or Team Slurpee. 7-Eleven is always open and always ready for you 24/7.
You said that with a smile on your face.
I knew you wanted.
Oh, big gulp, son.
Let it just pass.
The marketing people at 7-Eleven have to know it's just
They
creating,
probably don't, man.
creating.
They probably don't. They probably don't.
They don't listen to it.
The marketing people probably they don't.
And we got rid of 7-Eleven.
Yeah, and 7-Eleven is going.
Which you think was a slurp of?
See?
Big gulps, huh?
For the Cowboys defensively.
Well, see you later.
Yeah. This defense was bad.
Yeah.
Like that's being nice.
Yeah.
To say that they were bad is being kind.
Yeah.
It's keeping us out of trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are a host of other names that we could have used for the Cowboys defensively this year. The defensive coordinator position is still available, still open. They're casting a wide net. Whoever they hire, whenever they hire, however they approach the offseason, there needs to be an identity that is set. We have sat at this table.
Beautiful table.
Beautiful table. For years. 6, 7, 8, 10, 15 years. And we've talked the same thing over and over and over. What is the identity? What is the identity of this team? But more importantly, what is the identity of the defense? That has long been the question for the Cowboys. Mm-hmm. And if you partake in it, watch the playoffs, you kind of like the teams that are in the playoff, each one of them, especially those that are now in this divisional round, they have an identity.
Yes, they do, man.
They have a very distinct identity, whether it's offensively or defensively, whether it's going to be, flash and flare or, physical or whatever it is, there are identities that are very clear. And for us, defense is the topic of discussion. And so, have you guys seen teams that are in the divisional round or in the playoffs now that you look at and you go, that's it. That's it. That's what I dream about. That's what I look for when I get up in the morning and brush my teeth. I want to think that that's our defense. Are there any teams that either one of you...
Did you ever get your toothbrush back working?
Yeah. I'm back. I'm good. I'm good. I just changed the toothbrush thing on the top.
The head.
Yeah, well... Kurt, I avoided that for a very reason. Is there a team or teams that you look at and you go...
I think a lot of these defenses and you kind of mentioned before, they're just so much more physical than what are, and disciplined too. And I mean, Houston, Jacksonville, Seattle, Denver. A lot of these teams, they're riding their defense into the playoffs, which I think it's like 8 of the top 10 defenses this year in the playoffs, and like another couple more in the top 15. I don't know. Defenses wins championships, and I'm starting to believe it more and more here watching some of these teams this year, because it's just, I don't know where the Cowboys look a lot further away.
Yeah.
Because of that.
Yeah.
Denver wins in spite of their quarterback. Even though he has skills, they win in spite of their quarterback. Seattle, and these are the 2 number 1 teams.
Yeah.
Seated. They win in spite of their quarterback. Seattle, their defense is just that good, and their running game is dominant.
Mm-hmm.
This Texans team, they got to overcome their quarterback. I would like to say that Drake May and Josh Daniels was their biggest worry, but when they stay on the plane with their biggest worry, and that's their quarterback. How can a kid fall out of favor like that? This kid 2 years ago was unstoppable.
Yeah.
I don't know what has happened. I know what's happening. The league has caught up with him, and for some reason he has not made that mental jump. But every team has a superpower, and then they have something that they can fall back on. Mm-hmm. And Denver, Seattle, and the Texans and the Patriots have this superpower of defense. And they fall back onto their running games. Yeah. When things get kind of shaky with their quarterback, they say, okay, hold on, man, let's run this thing a little bit. Get you back. And see, that's what we're missing. We can run the ball, but it's not what we can fall back on. What we fall back on is Dak, and that's just too much.
Yeah, no. And you mentioned it. I did a segment on my other show about the Houston Texans.
Which one, the third one or the fourth one? You got 5.
The first one. The one that keep the mortgage paid.
Okay, all right.
Shout out to my people over there.
All right.
But I did a thing this morning on the Houston Texans, and that's the defense that I point to. And what I said about that defense was what we have to get back to, and up front, you got a good starting point because you have Osa, you have Clark, you have Quinnen, and Quinnen being the best of those. Mm-hmm. So that gives you that. What we don't have defensively, and I faced it in my time from an offensive player playing against a defense. Nate's faced it. I mean, he talks about it. Yeah. And players, we don't have anyone that people fear. Mm. There's no when clearly it's evident when people play the Cowboys offensively, there's no fear. They line up and they go, where do I want to go with the football? And when you look at Houston, you think about, okay, well, that's that Will Anderson Jr. right there. You get off the bus the night before, offensive linemen are not sleeping well because of a guy like Will Anderson Jr. And then not to be made like he's second fiddle, but he doesn't have the superstar kind of thing put on him. But Danielle Hunter will probably end his career and will have Super Bowl worthy numbers. Mm-hmm. He has over 125 sacks.
He will have Hall of Fame numbers.
He has over 125 sacks in his career. and then you go back, all right, second level. They have a guy like Azeez Al-Shahir. I don't know why he still wears that arm brace. He's been wearing it since he's been with the Tennessee Titans. Isn't that wrong with his elbow? I think it's like the mask that Hamilton.
Like a wrestling thing.
Yeah, it's just part of his uniform now. Yeah. But he is the aggressor.
Okay.
Right? Like he Al-Shahir will go to the line and occasionally cross it. And his coach goes, first one's on me.
Yeah.
But you play your play. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then on the back end, of course, they have Derek Stingley Jr., who is, one of the best cornerbacks in the league. But they have a safety in Lassiter. They got another corner in Jalen Petrie, right? So they all are dogs. I mean, dogs.
You turn the ball over inside the 20. Then your quarterback turn the ball over on their 40. And you only get 3 points in a playoff. You only get 3 points. And I'm talking to some dude, I'm not going to call his name because I had to talk down to him and bad to him because he didn't realize what great defense was.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think you didn't go up to New England and have that same thing happen. But, Rod.
But that defense, even when you mess up on offense, that defense gives you a chance. And so I just
down there on the 10-yard line.
I close my eyes sometimes, and
You
I
didn't
think,
close your eyes, did you?
I do. I did. I'm like, man, what was something like that? Maybe not the exact same thing, but what is something like that was paired up with Dak Prescott?
That kind of defense? Oh, yeah.
I mean, you number one seed.
Yeah.
You are truly then a contender for a Super Bowl. And so as the Cowboys begin their approach, their ascension into this offseason team building, and I know Will's a football head. I know that they're watching. I know that they're not watching us, but they're watching football. You can't look at stuff like that and go, how do we get there? How do we get?
How quickly can you get there?
Free agency.
How bad you want to get it?
Yeah.
Free agency.
How bad do you want to get it? That's the question, because you can
Chris,
get there.
when free agency open up.
You can get there,
Yeah.
but you got to be willing.
Can you do it in Dak's window? That's
Sure.
Yes, you can.
Sure. I mean,
When do free agency open up, Chris?
you got 2 first-round
Working
picks
on it.
this year. You got 2 first-round picks next year.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Depending on how aggressive you want to get. Are we willing to give up one of those next year draft picks to get something in this season? Yeah. Strike. The draft will be good. You got to strike in free agency. That's the only way you get there.
That's the only way, bro.
That's the only way you get there. Free agency, because they brought in about 4 or 5 starters.
Oh, did they? Yeah.
And they drafted well.
Yeah.
But
check Seattle. They did the same thing.
they drafted well. You bring in a Will Anderson, but they said, yeah, Will Anderson is good. We'll get a dog to run with him. Let's go get Daniil Hunter. Let's go bring him in here.
We're going to get Clowney.
All right.
No.
And that right there.
Thank you, man.
Yeah,
Wow.
man. All right.
Wow, man.
Wow. I appreciate you, man.
You pulling Nate there, didn't you?
Yeah. All right, man. Shannon will be back from Mexico, I think next week, maybe.
Next week, yeah.
If they don't, they may keep him.
Yeah, that's
They
true.
may keep
He may
him.
never leave.
He may never leave. And hey, we can't come get him because, our president only runs Venezuela. You know what I mean?
Don't do that.
All right, man.
Hey, he didn't mean that.
By the way, free agency, the tampering period starts March 9th to the 11th, and the 11th
We
is
should
the
be on
new
the
year.
8th. We should be tampering on the 8th. Yes, we should.
Yeah.
All right, for Nate, for Kurt, for Chris Beam in the back, I'm Salt Pepper Poppy. Until next week, we out.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!